Hmm. Good morning. Yeah, I know. It's only 3:33. And I've already been up almost 2 hours, or awake almost 2 hours. I got out of bed at 2 o'clock. Yeah, not much sleep. Well, I'll start with the title and the blurb, and then I'll see where it goes. Many heroes have procured our freedom. Some people, when they think of the heroes that procure freedom for everyone else, may think of soldiers on the battlefields of endless wars. To me, all war has ever done is maintain the status quo of fraud and deception. Since virtually no wars have ever really been about what we have been told. As the famous U.S. Marine General Smedley Butler once said, then wrote about it in a book, war is a racket. Indeed, the real heroes to me are those that expose that racket, allowing anyone who chooses to see the men behind the curtain. Yesterday I listened to some of David Icke in his 2010 lecture, The Lion Sleeps No More. And I also heard Santos Bonacci talk about astro-theology, revealing more of how things really work in this world. I won't even attempt to name all of the many heroes I know about, men and women, that have encouraged me on my personal journey of spiritual discovery. What I would like to recommend is that each of us take some time to ponder those that have helped us become more liberated from the matrix of lies, and offer a prayer of thanksgiving for their courage, often revealing unpopular truths that expose conspiracies. And I do need to make a little bit of a correction here because I forgot a word. I read it, but it isn't typed. Let's save that so it doesn't get lost. Whew. Yeah, there's been a lot of pondering going on this morning since I woke up. As I've said, I've been working on legal documents, and the idea came to me this morning as I'm meditating to scrap what I've done so far and create a completely different document that may incorporate a few of the items that I've done up to this point, but scrap what I've done. And this won't be if I end up doing that, which I haven't yet, it won't be the first time. But I took some time out yesterday to listen to David Icke, and that was a great lecture. What I listened to of it, it's 7 hours long, and I did not hear it all. I'm not going to even say that I listened to all 7 hours. I actually had it playing for 7 hours, but I was not sitting at the computer with rapt attention for that time. I was off doing other things, so sometimes it was playing to nobody in the room. And that's how it is with something that long, but I did catch bits and pieces of it. And then I listened to the interview, and I don't even remember who the interview was with, but with Santos Bonacci. And so those were two exposures that I had yesterday. And I must say that David left me, as he has done many times, left me extremely encouraged and extremely appreciative of the role that he has played in helping wake the world up. 20 years ago, he came on the scene. He was ridiculed and mocked, and he'd show up to give a lecture, and he'd have to put some chairs out and then put them away at the end, and half the chairs maybe would be left empty, and it was not very large numbers of people. Now he speaks to packed houses, and I noticed at one point, at least in the video yesterday, he had people that were commenting on how they were reacting to what they were hearing, and many people credited him with with waking them up and making them aware of what really is going on behind the scenes. And this is such, to me, an essential part of the awakening process. The apathetic people that don't want to know and are sucked in to the mass mind control by television, by education, by just the energies that are pumped into us to create fear and an unwillingness to face the shadow in our own beings so that we can liberate and be the lion that sleeps no more, be the waking mass of humanity. It's so essential, from my point of view, that people understand how we got where we are, which is why revealing the conspiracies has always been important to me. Of course, we've got to move beyond that, but that's a step in the process. And so those that have revealed these things, I used to like Alex Jones. I can't hardly take Alex Jones anymore. In fact, I hardly ever even listen to him. But he so very rarely offers solutions. But yet that is a step in the process. It was a step in my process. So I can even appreciate Alex Jones. Whether these are plants or whatever, it doesn't even matter, because it's all part of the process of awakening. And I'm an inclusionist. I've said that so many times in the past. I don't believe in excluding things. Everything has value. Everything is important. Now, you can get lost. We can all get lost in focusing only on one thing and miss a whole bunch of the pictures. As David said, we're trained in the matrix to focus on one dot. It might be the religious dot. It might be the political dot. It might be the banking dot. It might be whatever dot. It might be the food dot or the abortion dot. We focus on one dot and we miss the big picture. We're not trained or encouraged to connect the dots. David does that. He connects the dots and helps us to connect the dots so that we can see how this thing produces this thing and influences this over here and that over there. And it's all interconnected, because that's how life is. That's how life is. And anyone that helps us to see the bigger picture, to me, is a hero. For some people, I may be fulfilling my hero's journey, the role that I'm playing right now in doing these videos over the past almost 2 years now. That may be part of someone else's journey to help you see that you are more and life is more than what we've been told. Each of us has tremendous potential. And Santos Bonacci, when he ties it together with the astro-theology, and he says those that study astrology and don't look at the theological implications are missing the picture, and those that study theology without looking at the astrological part of it are also only connecting, or they're not connecting, two very important dots, because they go together. And he is very convincing in how he presents that, just as David, not David Icke now, but David Wilcock is another one that has been tremendously helpful, and Benjamin Fulford. These are some people that immediately come to mind as playing an important role in helping to uplift, and some of the channeled messages have also been extremely helpful to me. Have they always gotten it right? Do I always resonate 100% with everybody? I think I come closest with David Icke, quite honestly. He seems to be the most balanced of all of them, of all of the expositors out there. I mean, there's a couple of things that I don't totally agree with Santos on. There's some things I don't always agree with David Wilcock on, and Benjamin Fulford as well, and certainly some of the parts of the channeled messages. I don't resonate with everything, even though I may like that channel and generally agree with most of what is said. There's always something that doesn't completely resonate with me. But that's okay. You understand? I don't have it perfect. I know that. So I don't reject somebody because they say something that I disagree with on that particular point. Now, some people, quite honestly, really, I don't understand how they have a way of communicating that irritates me sometimes. And yet I know they have good things to say, but some of their statements are just so irritating. And I mean, I have one friend that I'm thinking of right now that I won't name, but they do that too. They do that. Their communication to me is often irritating. But all of these things, even the irritation, plays a role because it's helping me to look at myself and to examine myself, not for the purpose anymore of where am I wrong, how am I getting it wrong, but for the purpose of recognizing the tendencies that I have, recognizing the filters that I have in place, recognizing what my biases and my prejudices are, so that I can bring them more into harmony, bring myself more into harmony and balance. And that's really what it's all about. That's what freedom is. It's knowing ourselves. And anyone that enables us to know ourselves is leading us to higher levels of liberation and freedom. Because the problem in human life has been that we have forgotten who we are. We have dwelt in ignorance, in the darkness of ignorance. And that has to change. And it is changing. And I was greatly encouraged by the interview with Santos Bonacci and that lady whom I don't even know who she was. I never heard her before, but she was talking about Ireland and about the divine feminine. And I thought that was really, really good stuff too in what I was hearing. Because it is the ascent of the divine feminine that's bringing us into the new age, or the golden age that we're on the doorstep of. And Santos, with his astrological aspect of what's happening, was really, really convincing that this really is how the theological promises come about. It's done in the planetary heavens, as above, so below. And it's all mapped out for us in the stars and in the planetary, in the heavenly bodies, if you will. It's all mapped out for us how things go, and it's like clockwork. It left me, both of those people that I listened to yesterday left me encouraged that there really is something happening now in this 2012. I mean, there's been times that I've really been worried about it almost, because it doesn't seem like things are really changing. And in fact, in some respects, you could say that it's getting worse, except I don't only look at the things that are, I don't pay as much attention to the bad news anymore as I used to, and I'm not as much into even the conspiracies as I used to. I'd rather find solutions. Of course, the conspiracy in my personal life of the court case, now with the driving without a license and the resisting arrest without violence charges, there was no arrest. There was no lawful arrest. They did not keep their own rules, and therefore it needs to be thrown out. But anyway, be that as it may, I was encouraged by the end of the day yesterday that things are moving forward, and Spirit enabled me to be uplifted by listening to portions of these two gentlemen who, in my mind, are heroes that have helped me procure more freedom for myself. And I know that what I do for me and what they've done for themselves has an effect on many others. It sweeps out like ripples in a pond when you throw a rock in. And these ripples are changing our world, and I'm grateful for that. And so, as I said in the blurb, I encourage you to think about the people that have influenced you, to help you think outside the box and help you grow beyond your complacency and take you out of your, those that have been willing to take you out of your comfort zone, or to encourage you to leave your comfort zone, to explore the deeper issues of your own being and of the world in which we live. Because to me, these are the heroes that help liberate us all. Thank you for listening. Namaste.